Welcome back, you degenerates, to the number one gambling podcast on earth. I am Billy. I am here with Greg, and I'm here with Morgan. Boys, well, first off, before I even introduce you guys to anything, we apologize to the fans. Greg had like 5 days no sleep, sweating.
Greg was in a coma.
Yep. I was indeed to the Skype, waiting for everybody on Tuesday. You know, Greg fell asleep at 7:30 on his couch. He was in a coma. Morgan was nowhere to be found for a long, long time. And then I finally found him, and I said, hey, today's not the day, boys. Just call it a night for Tuesday. Let's regroup on Thursday. We are betting the diagonal. We are here to win you guys money. Unless you're betting on the 76ers, like we all did, and it's been rough. It's been rough. Boys, how are you besides the 76ers? Morgan looks like he's about to fall apart mentally.
They're all I could think about right now, for the fact that they continue to disappoint me on a weekly basis multiple times. It's amazing for a team that is as powerful as they are. They can't beat a shorthanded Blazers team. They can't even beat them. Granted, you don't cover a 5.5 point spread, but you let Melo go back to circa 2010.
Yeah, it's rough. It was definitely rough.
It's
Morgan,
unreal.
What do you have to say about your hometown team? The shenanigans that have taken place.
You know,
and every time we bet on
I know Greg and I had some serious bread on the line with this game, and it was the last leg of both of each of us had a pretty decent parlay. Greg's being a little bigger than mine. This was our last leg. So that, aside from the sting of that, this is also my team, my hometown team, the team that I bleed Sixer blood for. And to watch them just crumble and lose that game, it's heartbreaking. It stinks. Not the fact that, it's only money, right? We say it all the time. It's only money. But my team lost, and it's never fun to see my team lose, especially in a tough fashion. Fuck you, Carmelo Anthony. I hate you. You suck. You no-talent bum. Go back to being retired when nobody wanted you. That's when I liked you the best.
Wow. That's strong words.
Yeah.
For future Hall of Famer.
I have strong feelings right now.
Yeah, it looks like it. All I gotta say, Morgan, pull yourself together. You look like shit right now.
That game just put 5 years on my life.
Yeah, it was a sweat down to the end. There's been a lot of sweaty games this week. But one game that wasn't a sweat was the Super Bowl. Never had a shot. Chiefs never had a shot.
Sure didn't.
Just a quick recap since we've been gone for so long. How did you guys do in the Super Bowl? Greggy, let's start with you. Did you even put a card? I know you didn't put a card out on Twitter, but
I did not. But I was pretty, straightforward 2 weeks prior that I was going to be on the Bucks, and that nothing could change my mind.
Mm-hmm.
So for listeners that backed me, you won some money, and I hope a lot of it. I had some props that I announced on here. The only one that I can honestly remember off the top of my head was Mahomes' rushing yards under. And, I mean, 2 of the first 3 plays, I believe he had like 20 rushing yards.
Mm-hmm.
So that looked dead in the water from the very beginning. But, I mean, if you count the rushing yards that he had all around the field in the game, I lost by like 20 times that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he like the total amount of yards he actually ran was like something like 400 yards because he was running backwards the whole time.
Yeah, it was amazing.
It was wild. What color did you say the Gatorade was going to be when we were talking about it?
I was riding with purple because the whole 9-year thing.
Yeah, the year of the ox.
Yeah.
We have a major. We might sue CBS for what they did to us.
It was criminal.
Yeah.
100% criminal.
They're almost as bad as Robin Hood right now. There's Robin Hood, and then right below it, there's CBS for not showing the Gatorade.
And Carmelo Anthony. All 3 of them are on the same level right now.
Same tier?
Yeah.
Yeah, they made the list.
It was brutal. For 12 minutes, we sat there begging somebody on Twitter. Good thing, I saw it. I took credit for it. Totally wasn't me. Some guy who was at the game posted a video of it, but it took forever to get up on Twitter. Probably because he was trying to see, trying to find his password or something, whatever it was. But he posted the video. I was refreshing on 3 different things, on my iPad, on my phone, on my computer. Finally got the video, posted up as fast as I could for the followers, because the people needed to know. But unfortunately, it was blue. Tails, in fact, failed, but like we talked about with Jared on Birth of a Degenerate, that it didn't fail. The lady who had no business flipping the coin failed us. And I'll take that to the grave. My mother got very mad at me about that, but I was screaming at her for unnecessary reasons, because normally I don't watch the Super Bowl with my family. I watch it with the boys. We're gambling on it. But, I was stuck at home due to COVID and a snowstorm, so I had to sit there and sweat out bets, and my family's looking at me like crazy. What else hit, boys? I know the Kelsey over and everything hit.
Kelsey over, nailed that one all across the board.
Yeah,
it was a great play by yours truly.
Yes,
I ended up going 6-5 all my plays that I had. I hit the Chiefs' first sack, the over on the sacks. I was on purple Gatorade too, so I missed that. Obviously, I was on the Chiefs. I missed that. I was on the over 55. I missed that.
Criminal.
Some tough breaks in there, but the one that I was bumping the drums for the most was those Kelsey props, and they were easy money. I would have felt confident. I would have told you to put your liver on it, and if it lost, I would have given you my liver. That's how confident I was.
I don't think they want your liver though.
Nah, I mean, I wouldn't at this point. 29 years of this thing. I don't know how much longer it has left in it.
Boys, I'm actually. Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
You're good. It's good.
I'm actually looking at my props that I had in my notes here, because I didn't post a card for the props. But what I had here was that we spoke about prior. Shortest touchdown, under 1.5.
Didn't hit.
That hit. Antonio Brown scored a 1-yard touchdown.
Oh, yeah.
Tom Brady, MVP. That hit. Mahomes throws an interception before a touchdown at plus 295. That hit. Tampa Bay accepted penalty yards over 44.5. That hit. The only one that didn't that I had here was Mahomes under 21.5 rushing yards.
Good for you. You should have posted the card. Doesn't
count. It's a shame he didn't post the card.
I should.
Allegedly, he bet on those.
I didn't. I didn't even play him.
You hate to see it.
Yeah, you do.
It was just the game sucked. The halftime show sucked.
No Kenny G.
The commercials were eh. There were some good ones in there, but some of them were like, whatever, I don't care. The highlight was probably the Puppy Bowl, and I didn't even watch the Puppy Bowl.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So
I was very disappointed that Kenny G didn't make an appearance at halftime.
Shame, the season's over. However, we have football action on Saturday.
Yes, we do.
Great. Greg, you would know that if you weren't in a coma for the past 5 days, that we have football action this Saturday.
We have D2 football.
D2 football, baby.
Yes, who's in the game this year?
Tarleton versus McNeese.
Oh, fun.
For the record, this is not an official play. I'll put it up on Twitter because I'll be betting on it. I will be taking Tarleton plus 2.5. Guaranteed. You can lock that shit in right to the money.
I do not have an official play yet, but I will 100% have a play on this game. Yeah. And I will watch every snap.
That's what I love to see. I'll be at work, so I won't be able to watch the game. But along with the return of college football, there's some MMA going on. Excuse me, on Saturday. Nice little card for us. Greggy, why don't you kick us off with some plays for Saturday's card?
All right, awesome. So this Saturday we have UFC 258. Last week, we had a fight night card. It was a bit of an underwhelming card. It wasn't even something that I felt necessary to put plays out on, and I'm glad I didn't, to be quite honest, because it was a strange card. But this week, we're going to put out a couple plays. I'm going to start on Camaro Usman versus Gilbert Burns. We're going to go Camaro Usman in this fight, minus 270. That's kind of just at the limit that I like to play in MMA, because laying $300-400 on these guys, it could turn disastrous. But minus 270 for the champ, who nobody in that weight class has any business stepping in the ring with Usman, to be quite honest. He is just an animal. He's a bad man. I think this fight goes to Usman handily, but I also think it goes to a decision, because Usman's not the type of guy that, is going to beat you down unless he has you in the ground and pound situation. In his best 11 fights, he's only had a KO twice. He's gone the distance in the rest of the 9, and the last 4 of those fights have been 5 rounds. 3 of them have gone 5. So I'm going to take Usman and the over in that bout. Next fight, we're going to go Ricky Simon minus 250 over Brian Kelleher. Kelleher's a punching bag. He really is. I mean, he's in his mid-30s, in the decline of his career.
Damn.
The downcline.
On the downcline.
He's on the downcline. I'm coining that one.
But I love.
Yeah, he's on the decline in his career. Ricky Simon, he's up and coming. He's a wrestler. I believe he's a national champion. And I saw him fight he was on the Magni Chiesa card, that weird Wednesday morning card, Bill.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember.
And he put the beat down. I don't even remember who he fought at this moment, but he put the beat down on him. This guy is legit. He's young. I believe in a matter of time, he'll be ranked, and he'll be a contender for that featherweight title.
Just real quick, he fought Gaetano Perello.
Gaetano Perello. Okay. All right. Well, he put the beat down on Gaetano. But I'm imagining something of the same in this fight, just because he's something else out there. I'm also going to go under 2.5 rounds in this fight. I don't feel comfortable enough saying whether it's going to be by KO, TKO, or submission, just for the fact that they're 2 separate props, and I don't want to throw one of them out there. But I feel comfortable enough taking the under 2.5 rounds at a plus 175 underdog, to where I think he finishes this fight, and I'm really hoping that it's before the 12.5 minute mark, and I think it will. Last fight I have here, I'm going to go a little underdog action here with Jim Miller, plus 210 over Bobby Green. Miller's an experienced, gritty fighter. He's on the back end of his career too, but these guys that have, 30 UFC fights under their belt, maybe not that many, but 20, they've been there, they've seen that, and it's not like they're fighting these ranked guys. Bobby Green is not ranked. This is just a matter of, I'm going to put this guy at a plus 210, and I hope that people just don't play him because they see that Bobby Green is the favorite. Bobby Green, he's not a good fighter. If he clips him, then that's just going to be bad news. But Miller is gritty. He's a wrestler, and he's a submission artist. So it's a matter of him just taking him down and working his way to a submission against Bobby Green, who is, he's a black belt jiu-jitsu. But, I take the plus 210 underdog and ride with it.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will actually be on the opposite side of the Usman fight. I love Gilbert Burns. There's just something about him that, I'll be on the dog for a little bit just to have some action in. The dog's been barking. Dogs have been barking on the main slate. So
yeah, I could agree with you there. I just think that Usman, he's a bad man, And, I would hedge your loss with the over.
Yeah, no, for sure. I like the over. I mean, they're both world caliber, top of the line.
Yeah, I mean, we've been waiting for this fight for almost 6 months now. This was supposed to happen a long time ago.
Yeah, Burns tested positive for COVID.
Yeah, and then months upon months later, they finally reschedule it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, that's what I got for this card. I'm not too, overwhelmed about this card. I may have one more play that comes up over the weekend, but my mind is just totally set on 259 on March 6th.
Mm-hmm. I can't wait.
I already took off of work for that day. We got 3 title fights, but we'll save that for the coming weeks.
Yeah, I can't wait for that. That card is gonna be wonders. Let's kick it to Morgan and let's talk about a little bit of NBA before I get into some college basketball.
Yeah.
Morgan, what do you got?
Aside from the fact that I'm still reeling from the Sixers loss this evening, and I'm holding back my emotions. We have a great NBA card tomorrow night. It's been quite light. I have been very adamant in the past few days, or past a week, where I had to do some rituals and sacrifices that I had gotten ice cold, and I had used the analogy earlier this week, or I'm not earlier this week, early in our last episode of Birthing of a Degenerate, which we filmed earlier tonight, that I was on the top of Everest and I got pushed off and was rolling down the hill like a snowball to base camp. We're slowly climbing our way back up, barring any score changes, and my auditors, for mathematical reasons this evening, I went 5-1 in NBA today, which is
allegedly
good. So I said I have auditors for all my math, and I will have been in the past 3 days back up +7, I think it is, in the win column in NBA, which I feel good about after seeing my 30 game over 500 streak drop down to 17 just like that. But anyway, tomorrow's a great slate on the NBA. Great games, best game of the night, which I don't even know if I'll put a play in on it, but it's just going to be a friggin' awesome game. Is going to be the Bucks Jazz game. They are the marquee game at 9:00 tomorrow evening. That's a money line game all over. Right now, it's opening up as the Jazz 1-point favorites for it. I don't know where I'm going to go with it. I do have a prop bet that I'm going to go there, though, more than likely once I see the number released. Chris Middleton over assists. Drew Holiday is already ruled out for the game as the point guard because he has COVID. In the season, Chris Middleton, his average his assists per game is 6.2. However, in the games now that Holiday has been out, he's been in double digits each game. So I love that number there, and I think I can still get that number pretty low because his average is it's not low, but it's lower than that number. So I think that's going to be good. I always love Gobert rebounds also, just because he's a machine down in the paint getting rebounds. Those are really good games. As much as the Pistons are the worst team in the NBA, they're a great team against the spread. They're phenomenal. They're 13-10-1 on the year against the spread. They're getting 8.5 tomorrow against the Celtics. I'm going to be on the Pistons. Celtics had a tough game this evening. They're on the back-to-back. Celtics traditionally aren't a terrible team on the back-to-back under Brad Stevens. However, I had that stat for the boys last week when they played the Kings, and they came out and got walloped by the Kings. So I'm going back to anti-Boston because I don't like Boston. So I'm going to be on the Pistons getting 8.5 for sure. Billy and I talked about this one a little bit ago off air. Clippers are opening up as a 6.5-point favorite against the Bulls. This is a very strange line, very deceiving. I want to see who is playing, because we were saying this has the makings of possibly a Kawhi or a Paul George not playing in this one. So I'm very interested to see what the lineup looks like for this. I do like, however, in this game, the over 228.5 that's opening up right now. The Bulls aren't a great team. However, they have the 13th best pace in the league, and they have seen an uptick in their offense recently with Hall of Famer Zach LaVine out there just going to town. He's averaging, I believe it's 28.2 a night right now. three other ones. I got three other plays I'm definitely looking at tomorrow because it's a great card for the NBA. The Thunder are not a great team either. However, they're getting a dozen.
Are they? I don't have a line for it yet.
Same.
I'm going to be betting on them.
Getting a dozen against Denver. They got a dozen the other night against the Lakers, and they took them to, I believe it was double overtime, and they almost took them down. I don't expect Oklahoma City to win. Denver's a much better team. However, give me 12 points. Absolutely, I'll take that to the bank.
I have a stat for that.
Let's hear it. I love it.
Yep. OKC is 10-3 against the spread on the road.
Beautiful.
Sign me up.
Love that.
Absolutely love it. That's 100% a lock now for my place for tomorrow.
Wow, we don't use that word.
Oh, it's locked in, baby. Cashing it in right now. Another play. Actually, I very much play. I'm going to play it. I'm going to have a big unit game on this one. I think. Sacramento and Orlando. Sacramento has been on a great run of late and has been very strong against the spread in the past few weeks. In the season, they're 13-11. However, if I'm not mistaken, I think in their last four, they're 4-0 against the spread, where they're killing it.
8-2 in their last 10.
8-2 in their last 10. Look, this guy just has everything. I got my own little oracle right next to me. I love it. The Kings, they're not a great team, but they're scrappy. They fight. De'Aaron Fox is awesome. He is one of my favorite players to watch in the league. Tyrese Halliburton, sleeper pick. I'm putting a futures bet in on him for Rookie of the Year. I think he's going to be great value in him just to do a little tiny guy in there. I think that could be. He's getting much more minutes. He got the weirdest jump shot I've ever seen, but you know what? It works for him, so I'm not going to complain. So they're laying 6.5 to Orlando. Orlando has not been good since Markelle Fultz went out with the ACL injury. They've only won 4 games since he went out. They're like 4-11 or something like that. They're not a good team. They don't have a competent guy running the point. They're relying on Cole Anthony, who was very suspect at UNC last year. That fraud institution. They don't know how to teach point guards how to play. They're too busy cheating and pushing them through to graduate and everything and getting them on the court. And last play I'm going to look at tomorrow will be the Lakers and Memphis. Another weird one here, as the Lakers have only opened up as 7.5-point favorites. Memphis is a sneaky, solid team this year. That's a strange line. I want to see if anybody's sitting out of this game, but I like that number. It's Lakers 7.5 for sure. So, yeah, that's where we're at right now, boys. What do we got for you?
For me, I'll be taking the Jazz minus. I currently have it at 1.5. I'll take it to 3. Listen, they've been cash cows. We talk about it every week. 18-7 against the spread. They are 9-3 at home against the spread, and they are 8-2 in the last 10 against the spread. And Milwaukee doesn't cover very well on the road. They're only 6-8 on the road against the spread. So give me that. I feel like the NBA is a lot more analytical than colleges, and it's not. Teams tend to give up if they're on the road down a couple points. Unless you're Portland. But that's neither here nor there. I'll also be on.
Really? We got to do that?
Oh, come on, guys. Come on. What's a little fun?
We're reeling here currently.
Whatever. You guys have been reeling for a week. I'm over it. I'm so over it. At least we're not going to be talking about Jordan Clarkson tonight.
Yeah, that's not until next episode.
Before we get into it, Greg was supposed to have an MMA card, but he didn't like the MMA card, so he came up with a Jordan Clarkson 20-minute segment.
It was a great caveat.
Yeah, no,
we are no longer betting the Diagonal, a sports gambling page. We are betting the Diagonal, a Jordan Clarkson Stan account.
Yeah, it was more talk of Jordan Clarkson than I've ever heard anybody talk about Jordan Clarkson in my life. Speaking of which, I'll be on OKC. You said it was plus 12.5 or plus 12?
I have 12.
Yeah, I like that. I'll be also on that just because of that stat I gave you. They're 10-3 on the road, and they're only 13-10 on the year against the spread. So they play much better on the road, or at least cover much better on the road.
Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is already ruled out.
I don't care who's ruled out, bro. 10-3 on the road.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I don't know who's going to play point guard for them because I think Maladon's out too.
Interesting.
Lou Dortz.
Lou Dortz, maybe.
Lou Dortz.
And I will be, as my final pick, I will be on the Knicks money line against Washington because Washington stinks.
Mm-hmm. Bradley Beal's out too.
Bradley Beal's out?
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the stat. I heard on ESPN radio the other day about when Russell Westbrook is out, Washington doesn't cover, they don't win, and ever. But I believe he is playing, but it was just a stat to throw out. If he's ever out again in the future, just hammer the other team because they haven't covered once with him. Without him, I'm sorry. Greggy, what do you have for us for the NBA?
Sure. I'm just trying to find out here because I was pretty sure that I saw that Beal was out. I don't know why it's not giving me any. Yeah, he will rest on Friday against the Knicks.
Beautiful.
So that is interesting to see where that line opens.
Still dogs.
Yeah, I don't have a line for it.
It opened at -3.5 for Washington. Now it says it's 3+3, but it's not on my book currently, but that's from ESPN, which is not a reliable source. Covers has it at a -1.
Okay.
For Washington, for whatever the fuck that means.
All right. All right, so we'll dive into the NBA here. I am going Clippers -6.5 against the Bulls. Like we said, sus line. I don't think either one of them will sit in Kawhi or Paul George. I think this is just kind of like a hoax line right now, trying to tell people that one of them will, because they don't know either. Either way, if one of them plays, if one of them does not play, I still feel comfortable taking the 6.5. If both do play, the line will probably shoot up to like 9.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would think it'll probably go to 8.5, which I think I'd still be comfortable laying the 8.5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would too. But the Bulls can't stop a nosebleed. They do play at a fast pace. It's just a matter of they're hitting their shots or not. And the Clippers defend rather well. So we'll see if that fast pace works. They might take a lead here or there, but in the end, I think the Clippers run away with that spread. Next, I'm going to go with Kings -6.5 against the Magic. I think that, you guys explained that before. Kings, they've been hot. They have a nice young group of guys over there. Harrison Barnes is playing real well. Buddy Hield, he's starting to come along a little bit. I don't like their interior game at all. I mean, Bagley, he's been shooting well, but it's really the backcourt that's been doing the job day in and day out for those guys. And I think they continue to do it against a Magic team that, they're coming off the back-to-back. And I just think they're too tired for this matchup. Last play I have here is Celtics. You said it was -8.5?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, because I didn't have the line until you said it. But I had written down here that I would take the Celtics up to 12 for the fact that they're both coming off a back-to-back. They both played tonight. The Celtics won by 14 against the Raptors. Pistons, they ended up getting blown out, didn't they? What was the final score in that game? Yeah, they lost by 16. So I just think the Celtics, I'll take the better team. The Pistons coming off the back-to-back, I think that hurts them a lot more than it would hurt the Celtics. I don't have any stats on, what these teams are doing against another team that's on a back-to-back, but, I'm going to take the 8.5 and ride. I'm happy that it's not 12. So that's what I got for us.
So on a back-to-back, I got that for you right here. Detroit, ready for this one?
Mm-hmm.
6-1 against the spread.
Beautiful.
Okay.
So Detroit knows what they're doing. You know, I'm going to leave it at that. I don't like your pick, so
I don't like the pick.
That's fair.
I'm leave it right there.
That's fair. I'm still going to go Celtics.
Listen, guys. We don't always have to agree.
I'm glad
usually,
we don't.
When we all agree, it's a bad pick. That's how it's looked at for us.
Don't do it. We've already been over it enough.
Yeah, especially tonight. Any more NBA plays, guys?
No, that's what I got for right now.
I'm sure I'll have some props I want to throw in there tomorrow. So if you check out the page, I've been trying to sprinkle a few more prop bets in there of late, and they've been hitting pretty well. I think the first one I've missed two in the past, however many I've done, which was an Embiid prop for points, and I missed a Valanciunas rebounds. But there's definitely some really good value in some of these prop bets. Like I said, I'll put that Middleton assist one up there tomorrow. I feel great on that one already. And just looking at the matchups, seeing what's out there on the schedule and everything, looking at maybe some of the bigs in that Pistons game for rebounds. Boston is not the best interior defense, even with Tristan Thompson, and Tice is a stiff down there in the paint. So I'm not really scared of him in the slightest bit. Zion will be interesting what his points add up to between, and another one actually be Lonzo. In their past 3 games, the trio of Lonzo, Ingram, and Zion have been putting up 60 points a night between the three of them, and Lonzo was at over 18. So I think his scoring has been in the low teens for the majority of the season. So that might be a pretty interesting play for sure. But we'll have some more. We'll have a little. It's going to be a big NBA card tomorrow. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, like for the props, I feel like even the reason why the NFL doesn't put them out because they don't get the final rosters and whatnot. So I feel like props are always kind of almost like a last minute thing. So
sure.
I wind up never playing any NBA props because most of the time I'm at work. I like to place my bets either in the morning or late at night. Usually when I get off on Thursday nights. Off of when we're recording, that's when I usually place my bets, get the earlier lines, get some of the better value. But prop bets are low hanging fruit. We talk about it all the time.
They certainly are. You can get some great value. Another one that I don't know if he's going to play or not, but one that might be interesting because you might be able to get it really low right now and ride it for a bit. If Karl Anthony Towns is playing tomorrow night, coming back from COVID and everything, you probably can get his points pretty low for a player of his caliber going against the Hornets. So that would be one. Take a look at his status for sure to see if he's going to be out there. You might want to dabble in there.
Interesting. A little dabble.
A little dabble.
All right, boys. If that's it for the NBA, then let's move to college basketball, where I am still in the lead somehow after a bunch of probably about a week and a half of mediocre. I'm just essentially back to hitting a 500. It's a little sad. It's boring. I don't like to hit 50-50. It's no fun. First game that just sticks out like a sore thumb is Illinois minus 13 against Nebraska. Nebraska fucking stinks. They are terrible. Their jerseys are terrible. The state that they play in are terrible. Illinois is better than them in literally every single category. If either one of you have a half a second, go pull up team rankings and go to this matchup. The Fighting Illini are currently better than Nebraska in the following: points per game, average scoring margin, assists per game, total rebounds, effective field goal percentage, offensive rebound percentage, free throw attempts to field goal attempts, turnover ratio, every defensive stat, literally everything on the board that they compare the two teams with, per team rankings, Fighting Illini is better. This is a no-brainer. Right before we were recording, Greg brought up this game. I knew I was going to place a bet on this game. He said he'd take it up to minus 20. I agree. It's free money. I shouldn't say free because 13 is still a decently big number. And Nebraska is a big school, but they stink. Mm-hmm. They stink. I love that game. The next one is is a team that I believe Morgan has been riding with Akron, right? Morgan, that's one of your teams.
You named both my plays.
Oh.
I love Akron.
Akron minus 4.5 against Miami. Akron is a far superior team on the glass, averaging almost 40 rebounds a game. They are also a much better defensive team, allowing only 68 points per game. And the big one that stuck out for me is Miami just flat out struggles against Akron. They haven't covered the last 4 games. And each of the last 4 games have been a spread of 5, and they've covered by at least 5. So that's a game that I also love. Morgan, that's on your card as well?
Yeah, I have both Akron and Illinois. That is my college basketball card as of right now.
Oh, awesome. Do you have any other stats to back up the Akron game? Because I know it's one of your main teams.
Not particularly, honestly. I'm still doing some research into it. I just know that they hit for me more times than not when I play them.
Yeah.
So I roll with they're my Toledo. They are my VMI pick. They are a team that works for me. They come through in the clutch all the time. They look out for me. Not like UCLA or any other loser schools out there.
Fucking UCLA is still down by 15, 16 points.
Really?
Akron is 9-4 against the spread, and they are 7-3 in their last 10.
Don't hate it.
Yep, I love it. Let me put my water bottle down. Sorry, this is I got real thirsty real quick. You know what I'm saying? Speaking of thirsty, this is I don't know how much I would recommend this game to other people, but it will most certainly be on my card. Manhattan versus Iona. I'll be on the Iona side at minus 5.5. Iona hasn't played in almost 2 whole months because of COVID protocol. Like, they were in COVID protocol for almost a month, and then every team that they were supposed to go play against had COVID for a month. But Iona is just a much better team than Manhattan. There's no doubt about it. I'm trying to pull up this there to make sure I have the right game. Iona averages 9 more points than Manhattan. 7-point scoring margin better than Manhattan. 5 more assists per game. The turnover ratio is 4 points lower. I love it. I love Iona. Manhattan is 4-11 in the last 15 road games, and this is, like I talked about in the beginning of the year with the COVID plays, that the COVID guys were either shooting the lights out of the gym or shooting 20%. I think Iona, regardless how they shoot, they're just gonna beat down on Manhattan because Manhattan's a really bad team. And my last play that I have officially for the podcast, I'll mention a couple other ones I'm looking at that don't have lines yet, is Cleveland State minus 3 against Detroit Mercy. Cleveland State has been one of those cash cows that nobody knows about, kind of like Hofstra for me last year. Nobody even knew where Hofstra was last year if you didn't live on Long Island like me and Greg do. Cleveland State is 13-5-1 against the spread this year. They continue to get undervalued by bookmakers. This game should be closer to a -7, -8. Cleveland State doesn't shoot the lights out of the gym or anything like that. They just stop teams on the defensive end, only allowing 69.2 points per game. This is similar like how we ride with Morgan rides with Akron or Toledo. This is a team I always bet on, whether it's on my official Twitter card or not. If sometimes most times there's 75, 80 games, so I don't always see them on the card until later on in the day after I post it. But I'm always betting on them. Let me pull up some couple other games that don't have lines. I might be back on Winthrop tomorrow. That line hasn't been posted yet. They cover for me today. I like that a lot. What else? What else do I like? Greg, while I'm trying to find another game, do you have any plays for us tomorrow?
Yeah, I got a couple on the college card tomorrow. So I'm going to start here with St. Bonnie's versus VCU. I'm a big fan of the Bonnies, man. They're a good team that more people should know about. They can score the ball. They're good on the defensive end, And, I'm not saying VCU's not, but I think even on the road that St. Bonnie's, has the edge in this game, and they're getting 3 points. Last time out, I believe, they played in Virginia last time around, and St. Bonnie's won by a 16-point margin. So I'm gonna take Bonnie's in the +3, possibly sprinkle the money line, but the +3 will be my official play.
I like the under in that.
I was thinking the under too. Right now it's at 134.5. Excuse me. Last time out it was 124. The total. So yeah, it was 70-54 game.
I think that has, just because I was on the VCU under the other day. Mm-hmm. VCU shot like 70% in the first half to make that total go over, and then obviously went back down. Mm-hmm. But both these teams hit the under more often than not. The under is 8-2 in the Bonnie's last 10, and under is 4-1 in the Rams' last 5. I like the under.
Yeah, I like that play. I do like that play a lot. But yeah, Bonnie's +3 is the main play for me right now, and tomorrow I might possibly come up with more to add to the card within that game. Did you happen to find your other play, or was that it?
No, that might have been it, but I can't find the game currently. I'm still looking for it.
Okay, no worries. Next play, we spoke of it a little bit earlier. Illinois -14.5 versus Nebraska. This is just two teams on totally different spectrums of college basketball. Illinois, they shoot the lights out of the gym most nights, and Nebraska, they get blown out. That's just how it's been going. They're 0-8 in conference, and I would take this line up to 20. I know Billy mentioned that before, but I will reiterate that I think this game is going to be a blowout, and they may cover it going into halftime, and that would not shock me one bit. Next game I have here, I'm going to go Georgia Tech +5 against Clemson. I've been really on and off with Clemson all year long. Luckily, I've hit when I play Clemson games. They're just, a one game on, one game off type of cover team, it seems. And same goes for Georgia Tech in a sense. So Georgia Tech's getting 5 points. They live and die by the 3 ball. They make 8.2 threes a game, which is good for, I believe I saw it was top 40 in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And Clemson is bottom 3rd in defending the 3-point ball in the country. So I just think that is Clemson's Achilles heel. They're going to play good defense regardless, but if Georgia Tech can just continue to hit at least, 45% of their threes from outside, then I think they keep this game within reach at a +5. They might even win as a road dog, but Clemson's just been that weird team all year. And my last game that I have here for now, I'm going to go Temple Cincy under 137. They played last week. The total was 132. Yeah, the total was 132 in that game. The final was 63-60 for a 9 points under the total. These are two teams that are just really, really underwhelming on offense. Temple ranks 327 in the country in field goal percentage as a team, and Cincy ranks 229 in the country. So both in the bottom half, and Temple being in the bottom 20 in the country in field goal percentage. It just doesn't make any sense to me that line went up 5.5 points since their last time playing. And, I think Vegas might be trying to play a trick, and I'm not going to fall for it. Both teams just have trouble scoring the ball. So I'm going to stick with the under.
Okay. I also like that Georgia Tech game a lot. That Georgia Tech team is scrappy.
Mm-hmm. I love Jose Alvarado. Love that dude.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's an animal. He is willing to die for his teammates.
Mm-hmm.
Love him. He's got that crisp beard in him, you know?
Yeah, man.
I'm going to add that to my card as well, most likely tomorrow. I didn't get the chance to do the research. I really hate betting on or against Clemson. There's just something about him I dislike. It could be the Trevor Lawrence thing. I don't know. I don't like. I'm not a Trevor Lawrence guy. Therefore, I'm not a Clemson guy.
That's fair. I would take it now, honestly. I took it already because I had the line where it was, but I have a feeling that it might go down to +4 by tomorrow when we wake up.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I'll have all my bets in tonight, so I'll see where it is, and then if it say it's like a if say it's it starts closing in towards like a +3.5, I'll probably play the money line for sure privately, you know.
Yeah, at that point I would just take the money line, keep it off my card. Well, I'm gonna have it on my card as +5 anyway, but if it does get down to 3.5, I would just recommend taking the money line because you know that 3.5 point margin. It's just a number I don't like taking.
That's like kind of like taking, you know, like say you thought the Bucks were gonna lose by 2.5 in the Super Bowl, you might as well just take the fucking money line. You might as well just fucking ride it for the plus money.
Yeah,
you know, it gives you something more to root for than just not losing by a certain amount.
Exactly.
You know,
because then you got to do math, and math's hard, right, Morgan?
You could say that again.
Ooh. One thing about college basketball, yeah, that was good. I like that. That was funny. That I can't preach enough. I really can't preach enough is getting the early line for college basketball. Like whether win or lose, if you have the better line, like especially as a like more towards the underdogs or like a big favorite, like say San Diego State the other night, it opened at 28.5, closed at 30.5. Whether win or lose, like you'd much rather have the 28.5. Whereas like I don't believe the NBA really moves all that much, but college basketball lines move like crazy. Like there's games that the line moves 5 or 6 points just because of money coming in, because a lot of it's sharp money. So it's not really a public sport to bet on.
Yeah, I've noticed that more this year than ever.
There's definitely more people gambling this year, for sure. You know.
And just an FYI for all the listeners, as everyone knows, my cash cow, James Madison University, is playing Hofstra on Saturday, the hometown pride. There's no line for the game yet, but they're playing at home, so I would take whatever the line is, because James Madison is my team.
I haven't really watched any James Madison. They have a good big guy down low. Do they? I'm asking you.
I mean, their leading rebounder is Justin Amati. He's averaging 5.5 rebounds a game. I mean, they're rebounding the ball at a decent clip, you know, almost 40 a game. But they're hitting their shots. Yeah, I mean, they don't have like that strong interior defense, but they're averaging 80 points a game.
All right. You know, Hofstra's got the best big man that nobody knows about. That's true. Why I was asking. You know, I'm going to try to see if I can pull up the last time they played. Because that's going to be a good game.
It would probably be like a James Madison -3.
Yeah, -3, -2, something like that. I'll be on Hofstra. For sure. For my big boy.
It's a mistake.
I don't think so. Boys, you have anything else before we start to close it out?
No, I don't have any interest in the NHL card tomorrow. There's 2 games. They don't really intrigue me very much.
I'll probably just be on the Blues money line just to have some sort of action. But I've cooled off a little bit in the NHL.
Yeah, I think I like that money line pick. I think I might throw on the under in that game also. It's 5.5. between them and the Coyotes. Blues play a great defense, so I might be in on that under for sure, but I'm not sure yet. We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
I haven't. It's been a bit since I put an NHL play up. I'll probably have some soccer plays up this weekend though, which I'm excited about. We got some good matches over in the Premier League, so.
Ooh, a little teaser.
Little teaser there. Stay tuned. There's going to be some interesting things coming. I got some big underdog plays coming.
Oh,
beautiful.
Boy. Morgan, did you happen to watch the Man City-Liverpool game on Saturday, by the way? Sunday, excuse me?
I did.
Allison is a fucking fraud, dude.
He stinks.
He stinks.
He is trash. Get him out of there. It's a good thing I don't like Liverpool, but get him out. He stinks. Worst goalie ever.
Yep, that's all I got on that department. He stinks.
He stinks.
We could just do a special episode. We did do just an episode one day of going through every athlete who it's like, he stinks.
We could do that.
I can do that all day. Give me a roster, and I'll go through every player. He's all right. He's a bum. This guy's a crumb bum. He stinks. Get him out of here.
Yeah, we'll do an all-time stinks roster for every sport.
Ooh, I like that.
Ooh, that's nice.
I like that.
Morgan, I know that we just talked about it on Birth of Degenerate with Jared. I think that doing the horror episode on here would be great.
Yeah.
I think we should do it on here. It would be a good one because I know Greg's got some wild ones.
Yeah, so we were pitching an idea of doing an episode just about like our bad beats, our horror stories, our Sunday scaries of just the worst bets we've ever had.
Yeah,
I got one off the top of my head right now.
What, Sixers?
Well, no, that wasn't. I don't even count that as a bad beat. I'm just one on the top of my head is that Kansas Baylor game that I was on the wrong side of.
Oh yeah, that's tough. Yeah, I was thinking just for mine, just the first one that came to my mind was LSU. That LSU bet when we went to AC.
Oh God!
walking down the corridor, I'm screaming, "Take LSU!" Everybody in our friends group loses because of me.
Who were they playing? I don't even remember.
I don't remember. I could pull it up, but they lost. But they lost badly. That was rough.
Yeah, all I remember about LSU that when we were there was the first game of the tournament. It was LSU versus Yale. And you guys were all on LSU, and I'm like, nah, I'm going Yale. I'm taking the 5.5. It was a close game for a while, but I ended up losing.
Yeah. I miss Yale, by the way. Shout out to Yale. Shout out to the Ivy League. It's the easiest league to make money in because you just bet on Yale, and they always cover, and they always hit the over. So I can't wait for them to come back hopefully next year. You know, that'd be great. It's free money in my pocket. I'm literally missing hundreds of dollars a week because of Yale. I think that's it, boys. Morgan, why don't you close this out?
Yeah, so it was great to be back this week. Everybody's awake. Everybody's present now. We got it out of our systems a little bit. Greg on Tuesday, he'll be caught up on his sleep. He'll feel good. We won't worry if he's alive or dead. It'll be good. And if he just disappears again, we're just going to assume he's dead this time.
Yeah,
we did our part. Dead. Yeah, we did our part. You get it's a one-time card. It's like a get-out-of-jail-free card. You only get it once. But as always, thank you, boys. This has been a pleasure. Enjoy tonight. Billy, where can I find you at?
I'm Billy FFD on Twitter, and also I am also Gersh Greg. If anybody wants to follow my burner account.
And yes, Mr. 7 Followers himself. Where are you at? Where can I find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Gersh Greg, and you could also follow my burner account at Billy FFD.
Beautiful. I like that.
That's good. That's good.
I'm about to lose 10 followers now.
Yeah. All our followers are going to disappear. Yes, you can find me at MoWash26. You can find all of us at Ben and Diagonal. Find us on Twitter, Spotify, YouTube, Google Podcasts. You think of it, we're probably there at this point. Please, we implore you to follow Greg on Twitter. We've been trying for weeks. It was our New Year's resolution. We've already failed miserably. We're trying. We haven't seen any action on that one in a while. I think we're still at 7. Let's try to get to double digits before the end of the weekend. Maybe we can get a solid 10 number out there. But boys, as always, best of luck gambling. Always gamble responsibly, and always remember, it is only money at the end of the day. Thank you to everybody tuning in tonight, and we will see y'all Degenerates next week.